Thank you for joining me here today. Today I'll be interviewing you about influencer marketing, specifically in the beauty industry. So to start off the interview, can you introduce yourself, your name, age, and your occupation right now?
Okay, so my name is Bea, and I'm 28 years old this year, and I am an interior designer. Yeah.
Okay. So before I want to go in more into detail about influencer marketing, I just want to start off with knowing more about your beauty consumer habits. So for one, how often do you use makeup?
I use makeup whenever I go out. I meet my friends. Sometimes I use it to go to work. It depends actually. Usually when we have like special occasions, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And how often do you actually purchase makeup?
It also depends. So I purchase makeup whenever like there's something that I want to try. Whenever I want to kind of like refill something or try something out. Yeah.
Okay. When you think about a beauty brand's marketing strategy, what do you often see online? So, for example, you see more sales, or you see more of their collaborations with influencers, or even their own paid advertisements.
It's actually more on like they have collaborations with like companies, like for example, Morphe is one of the companies that is collaborating with influencers online, especially YouTubers. So that's one example of a company that I follow. Yeah.
Okay. So, these social media influencers, do you actually look to them as a sort of role model? Do you take their recommendations?
Yes and no. So it depends on for me it depends on who I'm watching. Sometimes I look up to them to see reviews on uh how this makeup being like manufactured and all that. Some of the YouTubers, I don't really listen to them in terms of like their reviews on these makeups, because some can be a bit biased. But yeah, so it's kind of a yes or no in terms of following all these influencers and deciding what makeup I use.
Okay. For brands who use this influencer marketing, do you think that this strategy is effective for the brand in terms of reaching out to people?
Yes, they YouTubers especially, they do have like a certain following, and whenever they review something, I notice, like, if you're real if some of their followers are actually quite strong, and if they say like this is not a good brand, and a lot of them will follow this and that. Actually, one of the experiences that I had was uh one influencer that I didn't follow in particular was Kat Von D, uh, because she actually had a feud with another influencer who I really liked. So initially, I didn't really use her products, but in the end, after giving it a try, like, I realized her products aren't so bad. Um, so yeah, in terms of effectiveness from these influencers, um, it will also depends on their fan base as well, or like their followers, whether they will really follow them like through and through, or if they really want to kind of detach and try out products themselves. Yeah.
Do you think, on the side note, do you think that these influencers, their following count is more important than the brand that they are collaborating with?
Sorry, can you repeat?
So the popularity of these influencers, do you think the brand find it more important than their own reputation or image?
The brand, so it's either like whatever is important, whether the brand or the image, right? I think it's more on the brand for me, because it takes for as a beauty consumer, it takes a good quality product for a person to kind of stay and keep buying that same certain product. A lot of these influencers can review a lot of these things, but it depends on personal preference as well. If you're gonna keep buying all these products, or you're gonna stay like within a brand, or if you want to be like more open to kind of new products that this beauty industry kind of give everyone.
Can you name about 5 to 8 beauty influencers and maybe identify a word that would describe them as a person, or them in terms of their standing in the beauty community?
Okay, so just now I mentioned one was Kat Von D, and then another influencer that I actually follow is Jeffree Star. So I think in the beauty industry he's kind of huge in a way. He actually has a huge influence around the beauty community. Another example is who is this guy? The James Charles. So that's another influencer with a strong following. So that's 3, and then fourth, I can say that one beauty guru that I followed last time was Michelle Phan. So that was actually how I started to kind of have a passion with makeup. Last example that I can give is actually I don't really follow a lot of people. I would say Bretman. So I think because his attitude, his humor whenever he makes videos is kind of an extra addition to like why I watch his videos. So it's not just about the makeup, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So based on the 5 you just gave, I just picked 3, and can you give me a word that would describe them? So for example, fabulous, posh, or very popular, that kind of thing. So one would be Jeffree Star. What word would you use to describe him?
Very intimidating.
Yeah. Bretman Rock.
Very I wouldn't say very, but creative. Yeah.
Kat Von D.
Kat Von D. I don't think I can I don't think I have a word to describe Kat Von D. Can I give another influencer? So I will say James Charles. He is brave. Yeah.
Why do you say brave?
Because not a lot of, Jeffree Star, all these 3 influencers that I've mentioned, they're all guys, but he's kind of like the bravest, because he kind of like took a leap, like to have that kind of progress within that timeline, that kind of thing.
And you mentioned Jeffree Star is intimidating. Why do you say so?
I would say because of the background. He used to be he wasn't from like a makeup community initially. He used to be from a band, but because previously he was actually bullied a lot because he was like, not he was gay. So uh because he was kind of like the oldest among these three people, right? So he actually had to kind of experience those kind of bullying from the past as a beauty guru. But yeah.
Okay. So, with these social media influencers, of course, they come with a lot of baggage or say benefits even. What do you feel about social media influencers and the power that they have? So this power would refer to say their follower rate or influencing ability, or even the ability to hide or shy away from consequences from their actions or behaviors in the past.
I think they do have a huge responsibility. I mean, because they do have a large following, right? I think they do have a lot of responsibility on what they kind of influence their fans. Like for example, makeup, they can influence fans to kind of try this, try that. At the same time, they can actually influence their fans on other things as well. So I think using their voice is kind of like important to that they need to use it well and on the right things, because the beauty community is not really something that it's not something nowadays that is taken lightly. Like, there's a lot of drama going on, and a lot of their fans are actually following that kind of drama. I think that they have to use their voice on better topics, on more important topics, like what's happening around the world now. I think it's better for them to use their voice on something that is better than just creating drama just for the views, that kind of thing.
Would you think these drama or the social media influencers reputation will reflect on the brand's image?
Yes.
How would you say so? Can you give me an example?
Yes. Well, if let's say they are portraying themselves in a bad light, they are actually affecting their reputation with other brands that they collaborate with. Because if you want an influencer to represent your brand, you want them to represent it well and with with a lot of like good responsibility. So wait. Yeah.
Do you think that they
Yes.
are doing it well? The social media influencers, do you think they're representing themselves well and representing brands well? Of today, the influencers of today, the very popular ones.
No,
No.
not really.
And this is because of the drama, is it?
Yes, that's why if you some of those companies, some of those brands, they actually kind of like pull out from these influencers. Like they kind of like stop collaborating with them. I mean, just to kind of, I mean, of course they won't tolerate this kind of like behavior if ever influencers give this kind of behavior lah.
Okay. What you have taken literature in the past before, correct?
Yes.
So you would know about themes, like a dark theme, themes on foreshadowing, even on betrayal, those kind of themes. Not all have to be negative. You can name positive ones also. It's up to you. But what do you think is a common theme in the beauty industry when it relates to brands and social media influencer collaborations?
Theme, I would say there wouldn't, I'm not sure whether there's a theme like going on like around the social media with like the beauty community, but yeah, can I say there's no theme? I mean, I don't really see a theme that is going on. I mean, I think everyone is like doing their own things, like if they're kind of like influencing other their friends to kind of like buy their own stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And lastly, I just want to ask you, what would you want to see from beauty brands? Would you want them to try to explore other options of marketing strategies, like say more sales and promotions? Would you prefer that compared to seeing influencer marketing collaborations? Would you prefer sales and promotions or influencer marketing?
Of course, I mean, as a consumer, you would prefer sales and promotions. But I would, if there's anything that I would like, right, as a beauty consumer, I kind of want all these influencers to kind of listen to their fan base, like see what and like understand what they actually kind of need, because a lot of them just keep like producing collections and collections, like tons of collections, but none of them really kind of like sit down and listen and like ask their subscribers or like ask their followers what they need. Yeah. So for example, for me, I kind of want more animal cruelty free products. So it was these kind of things, like they don't really like talk about it. They just keep launching like pellets and pellets every month, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Can I just add on one last question? Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. When you look for recommendations, of course, there's influencer marketing. There's also this thing as user-generated content. So this user-generated content, or UGC, can be reviews or ratings online. Which one would you be more convinced of when you want to purchase a product? Would you look at the influencers, or would you look at the people who are reviewing?
I think it's more, I'm looking more on the reviews, because a lot of these influencers, when they review these products, they actually, like, these brands sponsor them. So a lot of them will be like, oh, I will talk about something positive about this product because they sponsor me. But I think most of I think for me, what's important is actually the rest of us, like, kind of giving reviews regarding the product, because that's kind of like that is more of like what we feel as a consumer, like a beauty consumer, instead of being an influencer, being sponsored by all these kind of stuff from the brand. And like we like these influencers feel like they have to say something nice about this product just because they sponsor them. Yeah. So I think for me it's more important to look at reviews rather than influencer reviews.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything to add on about influencer marketing or what is going on in the beauty industry before we end off?
No, I think that's about it. And as an influencer, I mean, if someone becomes an influencer, doesn't mean like it's a bad thing, but a lot of people are actually trying to venture and try to review all these kind of things to become an influencer. But what I think kind of like hearing out the subscription, like the subscribers, like hearing out their voices, that will be helpful, like making like kind of real and like genuine content as an influencer.
That's a very great note to add on. Thank you so much for participating in my interview.
Thank you for having me.